Done really well with us, and really good guy as well, and a long time. And it's a great goal we scored the last week as well, which is very nice.
Our commentary was done by Sandy Clark, your old manager, of course. But you think that's why he named you man of the match, Mo?
Yeah, I'm happy because it's my first game. You know, I start to UEFA Cup. I am the first time I'm a little nervous, and the second time is better. You know, I'm happy because the team he win today 3 goals. It's very good. And I am score is good, you know, for his conference.
Didier Gat, of course, you took his place tonight. You think you've done enough to keep him out of the team for a while?
No, Celtic is a great team. Is a group, you know. Didier is injured now. I play, you know. He's better, you know. Didier come back, he play, you know. It's a group, you know. Just one player, he play. He's better. He's good. He's very good.
Well done tonight, Momo. Thanks, Paul. Well done, lads.
I've just spoken to the chief executive of Aberdeen there now because seemingly I had spoken to the player, offered him terms. I couldn't be more categoric, you know, this. I have never spoken to Phil Maguire in my life. Not first hand, not second hand, not 15th hand.
Of equal concern to the Celtic manager was the position of Aberdeen coach Ebbe Skodal, who had to get Maguire in the right frame of mind to play for the Dons in Thursday's UEFA Cup tie.
I don't think the manager would have been too pleased to having to quell speculation about one of his players on the day that they were playing an important game. And I couldn't be more categoric. I couldn't say it more clearly. I have never been in for the player.
O'Neill hopes his telephone call to Aberdeen Chief Executive Keith Wyness will put the matter to rest, but he resents having had to defend Celtic's reputation at all.
I had 2 witnesses in the room at the time when I was saying it, so I was prepared to carry it on. And it's extraordinary. I think sometimes that some people should just, listen, how can you cast aspersion? But at the continuation of the story, you know, and the people who perpetuate it, you know, I've got to look at themselves occasionally.
O'Neill hopes to put the tapping accusations behind him now, as Celtic look to protect their 100% league record.
In recent years with a pretty miserable Parkhead record. It wasn't to change yesterday, as John Barnes discovered.
Martin O'Neill has decided to utilise his squad to the full after midweek, and that allows £1.5 million signing Magnus Hedman to make his SPL debut, with European hero Rab Douglas dropping to the bench. Hedman's one of 4 changes to the Celtic lineup. Other new signing, Uli Lawson makes his first start. Jackie McNamara and Steve Guppy are also included, while rested for this game are Paul Lambert, Bobo Balde and Bobby Petta. If Douglas has competition in the club front for his place, he also has it on the international scene from United's Paul Gallagher. He picked up his first Scotland cap on the Far East Tour in the summer. United boss Alex Smith makes only 1 change from last week, with Hasni Al-Joffrey coming in and Derek Lilly on the bench. It's a change to a 3-5-2 formation for United as they try to match up to Celtic. The referee for this one is Kenny Clark. And Celtic looking for a continuation of the form they showed against Basel in the second half of the midweek Champions League qualifying tie. Well, Dundee United looking for a change in form. The last one in Glasgow against Celtic back in season 92-93, so 10 years ago. There's Petrov. Sutton. Petrov again, looking for Larsson. Put it into his path. Henrik Larsson holding it up. And over the top it went. Well, Henrik Larsson claims for the corner. I thought it was the merest of deflections as well, but the referee says no. So that trying to turn. He was getting his jersey pulled. And he's won the free kick. Guppy angles it to McNamara, driving it in. What a goal from Jackie McNamara. 24 minutes gone. Oh, what a return to the starting lineup for McNamara. The perfect The work free kick from Steve Guppy. And the ideal execution from Jackie McNamara. Top drawer stuff from Celtic. Here's Guppy. Celtic with their tails up now. Sutton can't get there on the half loop. Gets a second chance. And he didn't hang about. Chris Sutton keeps up his tremendous tally of goals this season. 3 goals in 3 games. Guppy's cross wasn't properly cleared. And Sutton stroked it in the corner. Guppy again providing the danger. And a neat finish in off the post for Chris Sutton. Celtic back in possession. Petrov to McNamara. Larsson. Petrov. Great play again by the home side. Petrov picks out Larsson. And he didn't connect properly there with that one. He realises it, but he can still applaud the build-up play set up by Petrov. Given away by Kevin McGivern to Petrov. Here's Larsson. Good shots, and a rebound goes in off Petrov. Still in, Petrov makes it 3-0 Celtic. 32 minutes gone. Misfortune for United. They gave away possession in the midfield area. Petrov spotted Larsson. His shot came back off the keeper. Still in, Petrov gets himself onto the score sheet for the first time this season. Nalby. Now Momosilla. Sutton's screaming for it in the back, and he's found him. So too Kevin McGivern kept his eye on that, the former Kilmarnock defender. Petrov swinging it out, looking for McNamara again. Throws it well, strikes it again. And he wasn't far away with that effort either. Now Jackie McNamara certainly has his shooting boots on today. Duff's cross, knocked away by Lennon. Larsson. Sutton, now is Steve Guppy. Wanting to have another run at Jimmy McCunney. It's a cross in, Larsson's there! And he couldn't take it in his stride. Hasn't Al Joffrey, did enough to put him off. There's another opportunity though for Henrik Larsson. Matheson managing to keep it in, but only for Griswold Harron. Larsson trying to let it run. McNamara sweeping it wide to Larsson, good spot. Larsson picks out Petrov, good build-up play from Celtic. Petrov! And off the crossbar. Well, Stilian Petrov has set himself a target of 15 goals this season. He's got 1 already, and that was almost number 2. Excellent play from Henrik Larsson to spot Petrov there. And the log was almost inch perfect. Benitez, looking for Thompson, he's taking it well. Stephen Thompson, good save from Hedman. And Thompson did well there to create the opening for the shot, but he just didn't have enough power to beat Hedman. Stephen Craney. Fernandez. Guppy. It skims off Jim McIntyre. Celtic get another corner. Petrov with it. Here's Hartson bringing it down. John Hartson. That's a brave save from Paul Gallagher. He was injured in the process. And John Hartson scored 4 goals against United last season. He came close there, but for the good goalkeeping of Paul Gallagher, he certainly was brave. Gallagher's recovered. There's Hartson! Well, Gallagher got a reprieve only temporarily because Hartson was there to head home Steve Guppy's corner. John Hartson opens his account for the season. An excellent delivery again from Guppy, and Hartson winning the jump. Celtic 4 up. And the shot blocked away by McNamara, and it falls to Fernandez. Celtic on the counter. It's Fernandez. Larsson making the diagonal run ahead of him. Fernandez may go alone. Chips it in for Larsson. Great goal from Celtic. Larsson gets in the score sheet. His 4th of the new campaign, and all credit goes to David Fernandez for the way he set this up. He dragged the player, did Larsson, opened the space for Fernandez, and the fine header to beat Paul Gallagher. Fine chip there from Fernandez, and Henrik Larsson locks in the 5th goal of the day. Now Fernandez looking for Petrov. Through the middle is Larsson. Petrov's found him, teeing it up for Hartson. Good play again from Celtic. Petrov to Larsson. A neat touch for John Hartson, and just slicing at that one. Full time at Celtic Park. It's a convincing victory for Celtic. Not the best of afternoons for Paul Gallagher. On Friday he celebrated his 23rd birthday, and 5 goals going into your net is not the ideal birthday present. The final scoreline at Celtic Park: Celtic 5, Dundee United 0.
The Celtic midfielder Neil Lennon should have been here at Windsor Park in Belfast tonight. He was due to captain Northern Ireland as they played Cyprus. The team looked sombre. Lennon, seen here after signing for Celtic in December 2000, was contacted by police after someone claiming to be a member of the loyalist paramilitary group, the LVF, phoned the BBC with a death threat. In a statement, Neil Lennon said, "I'm very disappointed that my desire to play for my country on my first opportunity to captain the team has been taken away from me." Lennon has previously considered retiring from international football as a result of abuse. In February last year, he was booed by Northern Ireland fans during a Windsor Park loss to Norway. Celtic tonight said, "We're disappointed to learn of the circumstances of Neil's having to withdraw." The Irish Football Association spoke of the manager's devastation at the news.
Neil has had to consult, and he's had to come to this very sad decision. Sammy's obviously gutted that once again football is plagued by this sort of thing, and we see all the efforts been made tonight to bring young people together to get over this sort of thing, and yet we get these type of phone calls, and this type of thing happens with 1% of the population in this very fine country.
If Neil Lennon hadn't been forced to pull out of tonight's game, he would have been the second Catholic player to captain Northern Ireland. The first was his club manager, Martin O'Neill.
To Cabinet.
Ireland's Celtic midfielder was meant to skipper the side at Windsor Park, but withdrew for his own safety. The Northern Ireland Football Association say they'll speak to Lennon later this week in a bid to stop him quitting international football.
It was supposed to be a night of pride for Neil Lennon, but the chance to captain his country has been taken away from him because of death threats from a Northern Irish paramilitary group. In a statement, he said, "After close consultation with the footballing authorities and the police service of Northern Ireland, I will not be participating in this evening's international game. I am very disappointed that my desire to play for my country or my first opportunity to captain my team has been taken away from me."
It's terrible. It's a disgrace. Could be the end of Northern Ireland football. Hope it's not, but doesn't feel very good tonight at all.
It's disgraceful that they're doing that. It shouldn't be. He's only trying to play for the country.
It's a disgrace. I don't think most of the people that come here would like sort of want anything to do with that, but that's what happens in this country.
Since his move to Celtic in December 2000, Lennon has had to confront Ulster's sectarian divide. Threatening messages were daubed on buildings near his parents' home the following February.
Just the fact that someone would do this is just absolutely beyond comprehension for me. I just can't believe that they've sunk so low that they would actually threaten a footballer with a death threat or his family to actually prevent him playing for his country. I think it's terrible.
He was booed by pro-loyalist fans at Windsor Park during the 4-0 defeat to Norway and had to be substituted by Sammy McIlroy. He then threatened to quit, but received warm applause from the home fans on his next appearance.
The problems that were previously with Neil Lennon, and he took some stick and abuse, and the majority of the fans then came out in support of him, and it took him a long time to make his mind up to actually come back and play, and proud enough to be coming back to be captain of his team and his country, and this happens. I just can't believe it because it's just so ridiculous.
Now the Celtic man is once again considering his international future.
I would hope that Neil would play for Northern Ireland once again. You just hope that the situation will sort itself out and at Northern Ireland, because we are not a big nation. I hope Neil will continue to want to play for Northern Ireland.
For Neil Lennon, it's time to say enough is enough. I've had enough stick. My family's had enough stick. It's your loss, and I'll move on and continue my playing career with Celtic.
While Lennon's Northern Irish teammates took to the pitch against Cyprus, the midfielder was boarding a plane bound for Glasgow. Kieran Holden, Sky Sports.
Well, Northern Ireland's match with Cyprus.
Well, that's the curious thing in all of this, I think, Shireen. I mean, Mike touched on it in his piece. It's not because he's a Catholic. The bigots, even in the support at Windsor Park, can cope with Catholicism, it seems. What they can't cope with is the colour of the jersey that he pulls on a Saturday afternoon. Neil Lennon played the majority of his 40 caps for Northern Ireland, largely unhindered by the support. It's only when he came here to Celtic that the problems began. He wasn't the first Catholic to play for Northern Ireland. Martin O'Neill, of course, his manager here at Celtic Park, a Catholic himself, was captain of the Northern Ireland side when he played for Nottingham Forest and played his games largely unhindered. The problem is his Celtic allegiance. We know that, of course, here in central Scotland, we know Celtic's traditions. They were founded largely by the Irish Catholic community here in the East End of Glasgow and have kept those roots, very proudly kept hold of those roots quite rightly for more than a century now. But roots are interpreted in different ways, I suspect, by different people, and this is how some people in Belfast have interpreted Neil Lennon's appearance for Celtic. Sad as it may seem, it's as simple and indeed as baffling as that.
Has Martin O'Neill been saying anything today, Martin?
He has, and we should perhaps put some stock in Martin O'Neill's words, because Martin O'Neill is, of course, a great mentor to Neil Lennon. He took him to Leicester City in the Premiership, and then when he came here to Celtic, Neil Lennon was one of the first people he brought here. He came out today with a written quote on the Celtic website just in the last half hour, indeed. I'll quote to you from it, if I may. He said, going to play for your country should be an enjoyable experience and not a chore, but in serious circumstances like this, it no longer becomes sport, he said. Neil has obviously agonised over this decision with his family, and the conclusion that he's come to is one that I understand and respect. The words there of Martin O'Neill, from whom we expect to hear more, I should add, at a press conference here at Celtic Park tomorrow.
Martin, for now, thank you.
It's been dreadful circumstances.
Yeah, it's been a long 24 hours, and you know, I want to put it behind me now and, you know, focus totally on my club career, and just try and put it all behind me, basically.
Celtic's Neil Lennon on the loyalist death threat and quitting international football.
The problem, too many people have lost their lives through sectarianism. The research that Nil by Mouth has carried out has shown that all too often that these deaths happen in the aftermath of Old Firm football games. There's such an obvious correlation, it really is, it should not be ignored.
Celtic manager Martin O'Neill didn't attend today's training session, but now he'll have to cope with the aftermath of the Lennon affair. If the player has worn Northern Ireland colours for the last time, all at Celtic Park will want to make sure his performance in a Celtic strip doesn't suffer.
So, Alan, will Neil Lennon, do you think, stick to his word and never put on a Northern Ireland shirt again?
Well, it sounds pretty final, doesn't it? But I think the Football Association of Ireland will be desperate to try to get him to reconsider. After all, they have very scant resources in Northern Ireland for their international side. And already the manager, Sammy McElroy, is on record homing in on this use of the word probably and hoping that Neil Lennon may be happy to at least reconsider his decision. Quite coincidentally, there was a visit here at Celtic Park this afternoon by members of the All Northern Ireland Task Force trying to combat sectarianism. And as part of that visit, there was this direct plea to Lennon from a former mayor of Belfast, a leading Ulster Unionist politician.
I would sincerely hope that he would give it serious thought. I would like to reassure him, and I know that other politicians, not just from the unionist side that I represent, but right across the whole divided society, are saying to Neil Lennon, we need you, Neil.
But Alan, there have been so many attempts made to stamp out sectarianism in football. What options do the authorities have left?
Well, you're right, there have been so many initiatives. Indeed, I understand there's a new educational pack just being prepared as we speak at the Scottish Executive, due to come out in 6 weeks' time. And tonight I spoke to the Secretary of the Professional Footballers Association, Tony Higgins, and he told me that in the light of the events of the last 24 hours, it was essential that a new chapter was put in there about sectarianism as a matter of urgency. Now, I think everyone realises that we're a long way away from the time when a player like Neil Lennon can step onto a football field without being booed. But Higgins' view is that we must start somewhere and collectively, and not just within the old firm, but involving all the other clubs in Scotland.
Alan, thank you.
Mike Watson is refusing to
prepared to tackle the game, and no special measures of security are required.
No, I wouldn't expect it. I would just expect it to be a normal afternoon of SPL action, and I would expect Neil Lennon to be one of a number of players who would probably get booed if they've got the ball, you know, and if they have made a nasty challenge, I would expect the home fans to be up in arms. Nothing unusual about that.
While O'Neill is fully supportive of Lennon's decision to quit the international game, he concedes signing future Northern Irish players could prove problematic for those involved.
That is a very, very good point. I hadn't thought about it, but I've no doubt that those sort of thoughts may well and truly enter his head.
O'Neill is keen to foster a business-as-usual attitude with a victory against Partick Thistle.
And he chose to make that decision, and so I abide by that.
The Celtic boss is better qualified than most to understand Lennon's dilemma, having skippered the Northern Ireland side of mixed religion himself.
Traditional meeting of managers' minds as Martin O'Neill squared up to Basel coach Christian Gross. The Celtic boss clearly has the upper hand after their 3-1 victory in the first leg, but nothing is being taken for granted.
I mean, optimism and foolhardiness can sometimes run together. This will be a difficult game for us. We knew that, and my sentiments are no different to what I felt just after the game was over a fortnight ago. The game's in the balance, but we will be giving absolutely everything to try and get through.
Despite the memories of their Parkhead defeat, Basel manager Christian Gross has assured his players he's going nowhere. Speculation has been mounting that Gross will quit for German Bundesliga side Kaiserslautern if they fail to overturn the 3-1 defeat.
We are in front of a huge game.
Association with Setanta Sport. Let's join our commentators in the stadium. Tosh McKinley, and first of all, good evening, Archie McPherson.
Very good evening, Jim, and I can't tell you, we've just listened to a rendition of Scotland the Brave, played by, wait for it, the Basel band. But I suspect it's going to be the only concession to the Scottish club make tonight. Just listen to that din. This stadium is only about of Celtic Park, but by Jove, this crowd here, who in the past couple of weeks have proved they're not exactly candidates for the Nobel Peace Prize. There's been some trouble, of course. The police been involved with some of the spectators away to our far right. That is the kind of cop area there. Not tonight, I hasten to add, but over. That's the sort of atmosphere that Celtic are now coming into, but it's Celtic, of course, that exuding not only ability but experience, and you begin to appreciate, and I think for the very first time appreciate, that 88th minute at Celtic Park when Momo Silla gave Celtic that extra vital leeway. The situation is tense enough But that third goal of Celtic, if they didn't get it, they might have felt a bit like walking the plank. However, the very fighting spirit right to the end at Parkhead. Evidence again tonight. Certainly the Swiss.
O'Neill took only 16 minutes to prove them wrong. And then 8 minutes later, a second for the Swede on his way to a hat-trick, which saw him equal Ali McCoy's scoring record of 20. With 27 minutes, 3-0 for Celtic, a stunning volley by his third. The ball crossed the line, his manager stating confidence.
Really. People make whatever they want. He hasn't scored since... was a top-class player and he's a top-class goal scorer. And last night...
Break for Sutton, Celtic enjoyed a 5-goal cushion at half-time. Skipper Paul Lambert wasn't missing out in the action after the break. He popped in a 50th minute header from close range. Then it was substitute John Hartson on the score sheet, the Welsh international again proving he's dangerous around the box. The goals were firing in from all angles. Minute, a header from defender Jos Valgaeren. But then at last some relief for Saduva. Rab Douglas won't be happy to have conceded this one, but Radznevicius's goal in the 90th minute predicted outcome of this tie in the second leg.
Of FK Saduva, and Larsson, he wasn't showing it following a 14-minute first-half hat-trick. It stopped talk of a crisis in confidence dead in its tracks. Larsson providing the best possible answer to critics of his recent form.
In this country, I'm one of the best players in the world.
The bit about them, a bit of togetherness, and playing as a group, and they're certainly more organised as well, and apart from anything else, I believe they're a lot fitter as a unit, and they're going to have to be today. We've seen Motherwell really give a great example of how to play against.
They're on Dundee, and Georgian Mzadze at 30 is their oldest player. He's the only one who reaches that mark. Most of the team in their early 20s, so it's a low average. And Juan Sara back on the top team scene. You'll have heard Jim Duffy talking about his recent loss of confidence. I wonder in front of the cameras if he'll get a little lift. 30 goals in his first 2 seasons, Juan Sara, and Theo ready for Nacho Novo as he samples Premier League football, having scored 22 times last season in the First Division for Wraith Rovers. Well, why should I talk about him? You know plenty, Sandy.
Yeah, he's a marvellous character. And he's an athlete, Rob. He's very natural fitness level, and he goes up and down that park all day. And the thing about him as well is so unpredictable. He's capable of doing anything with the ball. He can make it do tricks. And I'm pleased to see he's got 1 or 2 goals this season already.
And Henrik Larsson, rumours of a crisis. Trifle premature. 9 goals already this season, a hat-trick in Europe in midweek, and 5 Premier League goals already. The referee is John Underhill. Dundee won't do it the Motherwell way, but can they achieve the same result as Celtic look to bolster their title defence? Dundee against Celtic. You'll see it all here on BBC Scotland. Georgian Mzadze. Dundee hope he is influential in that central area. Good challenge by Tom Hutchison. Free kick is given. And an early chance for Balde and Valgaeren to step up alongside Larsson and Sutton. And Steve Guppy to deliver. Headed away by Mackay. Petrov had his shot blocked. Guppy again back onto the left peg. Chris Sutton at the near post. Valgaeren there. And Sutton again, and Dundee made a meal of getting that clear. Welcome to Dens for Neil Lennon. Johnny Hernandez, 3 years on the fringes of the Real Madrid top team, understudy to Roberto Carlos. That was Hutchison winning the header. He's been a useful acquisition for Jim Duffy. But that's possession given away by Gavin Ray. Year-old Hutchison has it, up to Caballero. Strong on the ball, Fabian Caballero. Free kick against Lambert.
Caballero, you can see him drifting there just into the midfield area. It makes him very difficult to pick up. And Paul Lambert eventually giving away the free kick.
Zanza's free kick to Barry Smith. Momo Silla goes back with him. And a goal kick. And it will be a big confidence boost to Momo Silla, to be told. At the moment, you've got the edge over Didier Agat.
That's right, Didier Agat's been so consistent for Celtic under Martin O'Neill, and Momo's had a real battle to get a starting place in the team when Agat's fit. It speaks volumes for him that he's managed to persuade Martin O'Neill at this moment in time that he's the first choice.
And his fellow Guinea international, Bobo Baldi, with the goal kick. Guppy to Larsson. Petrov's made a good run. Smith missed it. And that's good defending by Hutchison. Sutton tried to set up Petrov.
Yeah, it's good play, Larsson there. You can see Stelian Petrov again getting forward, willing to go beyond the strikers. Barry Smith missed the ball.
Steve Guppy's cross. Again, it's Hutchison, but that's right back into the danger area. And Henrik Larsson almost in.
You see the real threat from Celtic again. It comes from so many different areas, but good defending. Certainly Henrik Larsson took a sore one.
In fact, it was Hutchison who got Dundee out of trouble there. Early pressure on Dundee. Petrov's corner kick, right under the crossbar. And it was played in with a lot of pace, a difficult delivery for Julian Speroni to deal with.
It's so hard to defend against, and when you've got the Prince of Bobo Baldi in there, Speroni for me picked the right option there. Just be safe, knock it over the crossbar.
Well, you saw a terrific angle on that corner kick. It was speeding in at some speed, and he had to be on his toes, Speroni. Guppy, and it's Julian Speroni again who makes a good catch under pressure, and it's been a good start for the young Argentinian.
He's certainly been involved already. He's been put under a lot of pressure, and I think that'll continue for most of this game. But good hands, keeps his eye on the ball, lots of bodies round about him, and copes exceptionally well with that one.
And good protection as well there from Lee Wilkie as Bobo Baldi tried to get to the keeper. He's not the tallest, Julian Speroni, but he's the undisputed #1 at the moment for Dundee. Adams throw, and there was a push by Sutton on Hutchison. Chick, what's he screaming about?
I'll tell you exactly what he's screaming at, Rob. It's Nacho Nova who's getting sucked into the game, pulled into the middle of the park. He wants him to stay wider in the front three.
Nacho Novo. Nifty footwork, but couldn't quite keep it in. But he's a lively presence, and he gives Dundee an element of the unpredictable.
He's had a very good start for Dundee. He's got very good pace. I haven't seen an awful lot of him, but when you've got pace and you can stick the ball in the back of the net, you're always going to cause problems.
Valharan quick enough. Rob Douglas with the clearance, and Zadzi onto it, and now Smith, the skipper. Dave Mackay came off the head of Neil Lennon. It might work out for Caballero. In the way was Baldy. Threatening stuff from Dundee.
There was a chance, there's no question about that. It's a little bit fortunate there coming off the head of Neil Lennon, but Caballero, he's onto a shot, decided not to be selfish, play it across the goal, and Bobo Baldy just getting enough on it to knock it past the post for a corner kick.
Novo's corner kick. Hernandez and wide, well wide. Didn't really catch the shot. A decent half chance. Rob Douglas, of course, missed the 1-0 defeat of Hibs. He was injured in the warm-up for that game, and clearly doesn't want to be taking these kicks. Larson, Guppy. Henrik Larsson got there before Barry Smith. Pretty tasty pass as well. Almost Silla. Gets it back from Chris Sutton. Through for Larsson, but offside.
There certainly wasn't much in that one. Chris Sutton and Momo Silla linking well down the right-hand side, and Momo, good feet to get beyond the defender and played the ball in the box. And Henrik a little bit disappointed there for me, Rob. He just drifted a yard offside when he could see right across the field.
Sara and his fellow Argentinian Caballero, lovely turn and caught late by Bobo Baldi. Looks as if he's getting back to sharpness, Caballero. Difficult last season. He had a serious injury to recover from, Sandy.
Yeah, he's lost a bit of weight as well, Rob, so he's obviously fitter, and you can see him just drifting short again there, and it makes it very difficult for the defenders to stay on their feet and not give away free kicks.
Georgi Nimzadze with the free kick. Cleared by Steve Guppy. Now what's Martin O'Neill up to, Chick?
The latest instructions have gone to Momo Silla to get forward down the right and take on the defender. He wants him in this style of a gat, if you like, Rob, to get to the line and get the crosses whipped in from there.
That's Caballero. Now Gavin Ray! 2 goals in 2 games for Ray, not far away from 3.
That's really good support midfield play. Gavin Ray, he read the situation exceptionally well, knew the ball would break round about the edge of the box. He's on to it first. The ball just wouldn't really sit down for him. Had to take a touch and unfortunately didn't get it on target.
It's a good strong challenge from Barry Smith. Dundee have to mix it in the middle, they know that. Long ball from Baldi. Up for Sutton. Lee Wilkie won the header. Nimzadze's flick. Ray's header. Caballero trying to hold off Petrov. Lambert does well. And Guppy slows it down. The middle man to the back 3 for Celtic, Bobo Baldi. And to his right, Jos Valharan. Pretty solid defending from Tom Hutchison. Couldn't be guaranteed a first-team spot at Fulham. And Jim Duffy offered him just that at Dundee, and made his first appearance for the Blues in the Dundee derby and did well. It's Hutchison again. Pretty impressed with him, Sandy.
He's definitely grabbed his chance. He's took it with both hands. There's no doubt about that. And he's had a very impressive start to this match. Sutton and Larsson are so good in the air, but Wilkie and Hutchison look at this moment in time as if they're capable of coping with that. And that could be a big factor as the game goes on.
Sara the target. Back it comes from Baldi. There's Wilkie. Hernandez against Silla. Quicked on by Ray. Neil Lennon to Paul Lambert. These two have played such a big part in Celtic's 2 title triumphs. That's good play from Nimzadze, great vision. Got a good pass away to Nacho Novo. He's got pace. Testing out Uli Larsson. But back out helping. Whereas Guppy did a good job there. The mopping up work for Dundee done by Dave Mackay. played all 7 matches for Dundee, in fact all 8 now for Dundee this season, the 21-year-old. The Celtic and Scotland skipper, Paul Lambert. And a lapse from Momo Sila. Took his eye off it. Gavin Ray, Johnny Hernandez. And Sila gets back. And gets in the way.
You'll be pleased that one happened in front of the Dundee dugout, not the Celtic one, I'm sure.
There's a lot of interchangeability, isn't there, about the Dundee front three with Sara and Caballero and Novo, and I think Jim Duffy would like Nacho Novo to get in about these big Celtic defenders, because his sort of style might just work.
We've seen that earlier there when he took on Lawson for pace. He certainly gave them 10 yards of a start, got beyond them, so there's no question he's got the beating of Lawson from that area. I think Jim would be happy if he maybe floats about and tries to pick up some loose balls and tries to drive at the Celtic defence. It's the hardest thing to defend against.
Good layoff from Larsson to Petrov. Barry Smith's challenge just outside the penalty box was good. Guppy turns away from the challenge of Novo. Flighted ball into the box, but no takers, apart from Julian Speroni. Hernandez with the clearance, but it's beyond Caballero. Wilkie. Long ball from Dave Mackay. It's with Novo now, and off Lambert. That was out. Slack play from Celtic.
They've really got to try and move the ball a bit quicker forward, Rob, for me. It's easy for Dundee to defend at the moment.
There's Novo. Juan Sara not too far away from that. It was an awkward one going over his shoulder. But it might just have worked out. That was certainly unconventional from Novo, but it just about came off. Hernandez for Caballero. Towering above him was Balde. Good work from Juan Sara. Nacho Novo stumbled on the ball. Gets himself back up quickly. Off Larsson. Out for a throw.
It's good play from Dundee. Juan Sara again running at the Celtic defence, and well, you could see what he was trying to do there. I think it was tackled by a blade of grass, but he tried to reverse the play and get the shot on target, and unfortunately just ended up his backside.
Mackay's throw. No challenge on Balde. Smith tries again it's Balde. A big presence at the heart of the Celtic defence. Dundee having a good spell. Here's Novo again, couldn't get control. Lennon short with his pass for Petrov. Al-Haddam clears. Another free kick given against Chris Sutton.
You can see Chris Sutton there, he's got up, just leading with his elbow. John Underhill didn't miss that one.
Played in by Hernandez, away by Balde. Hutchison and Wilkie were both up for the set piece. to Barry Smith. The long-serving Barry Smith, 7 years at Dundee after leaving Celtic, for whom he played just the 19 games. Petrov to Silla. Steps inside the challenge of Hernandez. Larsson against Hutchison. Good play from Henrik Larsson. Steve Guppy, a chance to create something. Larsson! Super strike by Larsson. The opening goal with 17 minutes gone. Inside of the foot, placed into the top corner. 10th goal of the season.
And what a goal. Henrik Larsson, that's him at his very, very best. It's a really good build-up to start with. Larsson does all the work on the right-hand side. Steve Guppy could have picked somebody out there. He's very patient, held on to the ball. Larsson, great support play, and what a finish into the top corner, giving the goalkeeper absolutely no chance whatsoever. Steve Guppy, for me, does exceptionally well here. Delays it. Don't come much better than that.
Yeah, he's really struggling for form, isn't he, Henrik? So much involved in that. All the build-up was his, and then that scintillating finish. Placed away from Julian Speroni, 1-0. And it's a useful one from Caballero, but Hernandez couldn't quite get there quickly enough. Well, Henrik Larsson scored 4 times in 3 games against Dundee last season, and he's come back to haunt them. But then Martin O'Neill knows well that Henrik's scoring record against just about every Premier team makes impressive reading. And that's him into double figures for the season, Henrik Larsson already. And it's a big setback for Dundee, who'd had a useful few minutes.
That's football for you, isn't it? Dundee, probably the best spell of the game for them. They looked as if they were putting Celtic under a little bit of pressure, and then you get the quality coming from Larsson. It's a good move right from start to finish, and I'm sure we'll see that goal again and again.
Celtic looking to close the gap at the top of the Premier table, looking to close it back to a single point, and they've made the ideal start in terms of scoreline. Guppy and Sutton, now Petrov. Steve Guppy looking for the chance to cross. That's well defended by Dave Mackay. Caballero, off Baldi. Scored both goals the last time Celtic were beaten at home. 2-0 it was in May of last year. Larsson and Sutton combine. Sutton tried to float that forward for Petrov. Good pass from Gavin Ray. Laid off by Sara for Hernandez. Mzadze. Juan Sara again. Couldn't keep it. And Celtic on the move again with Guppy. Into the box from Momosila, but no great threats to Dundee this time. He's not that tall, Nacho Novo. He needed a step ladder to get up for that one. A Spaniard and 2 Argentinians up front for Dundee. Guppy proving to be a big test of Dave Mackay. That's a useful cross. And Julian Speroni wasn't confident enough to grab that one. Larsson's pass goes astray. Well, is it Henrik Larsson, or will it be somebody else for man of the match this afternoon? 0900 10 225 by telephone. 07736 600 600 by text if you want to take part in a man of the match competition. A DVD or a signed shirt could be yours if your choice agrees with Sandy's. Almost Silla in a threatening position, but the shot less than threatening.
Worth the chance for Momo. He picks the ball up in acres of space, lots of time. It's certainly his weaker left foot. He'll be disappointed when he sees that one again.
We're just across the road next weekend for Dundee United against Rangers. That's Saturday, remember. 12:30 kick-off, and we're on air from 12 noon. Join us for that one at Tannadice. Here at Dens, Celtic 1-up. Thanks to a glorious goal from Henrik Larsson. How often have we used that phrase? Smith's clearance. Valharan first there. Silla under pressure from Ray. Held him off. And that was a late one on Valharan. A free kick and a sore one too for the Belgian.
Gavin Ray certainly caught him late, there's no doubt. Big use, he's just played the ball away, and you can see Gavin's left his foot in there. Certainly made contact, and John Underhill right with that decision.
Balde is up alongside Larsson and Sutton, and Larsson is there too. Played in by Guppy. Sutton